I must state that for safety, honesty and cautious reasons, the information in this video was gathered through research on the internet. I am not telling you to do anything in particular. Your choices are of your own volition. Seek medical advice for further knowledge. What is visceral obesity? The abnormally high deposition of visceral adipose tissue is known as visceral obesity. Visceral adipose tissue is an hormonally active component of total body fat, which possesses unique biochemical characteristics that influence several normal pathological processes in the human body. How do I tell if I have visceral fat? Visceral or abdominal fat is the fat stored deep within the abdominal cavity surrounding vital organs. While it's the type of fat you can't see or feel directly, you can get an idea of whether you have excess visceral fat through a few methods. Measuring your waist circumference is a good indicator, as is your waist to hip ratio also. Additionally, your body shape, apple versus pear, can suggest whether or not you're more likely to store fat in your abdomen. The waist circumference, what it means. For women, a waist circumference of 35 inches or 89 centimeters or more, and for men, 40 inches, which is 102 centimeters or more, suggests an increased risk of health problems related to visceral fat. Do not cheat yourself. Try not to suck in your stomach when measuring your waist circumference. What it means: a ratio higher than 0.85 for women and a measurement at 0.90 for men indicates an increased risk of health issues associated with abdominal fat. Body appearance in shape. An apple-looking body type. If you tend to store more fat in the abdominal area, giving you an apple shape, you are more likely to have excess visceral fat. Pear-looking body type. But if you tend to store more fat in your hips and thighs, you are more likely to have subcutaneous fat under the skin. Other indicators: BMI, otherwise known as the body mass index. While not specific to visceral fat, a BMI of 30 or higher can be an indicator of excess body fat, which may include visceral fat. Waist to height ratio. Some healthcare providers prefer this measurement, which involves dividing your waist circumference by your height. A healthy ratio is generally considered to be 0.5 or less. Professional assessment. For the most accurate assessment of visceral fat, a CT scan or MRI scan is recommended. These scans can directly visualize the amount of visceral fat surrounding your organs. While these methods provide a good indication, it's always best to consult with a healthcare professional for a comprehensive evaluation and personalized advice. So what burns the most visceral fat? Some studies have shown that you can help trim visceral fat or prevent its growth with both aerobic activity such as brisk walking and strength training, exercising with weights. Exercises such as the sit-ups and the ab roller can tighten abdominal muscles and the core, but it won't get at any visceral fat. Also, we already know regular exercise can also prevent the build-up and keep fat from coming back. Foods high in saturated and idiotically unnatural fats, refined sugars, and excessive calories are most likely to contribute to visceral fat accumulation. These include processed foods, fast food, baked goods, and sugary drinks. Consuming these foods in excess without sufficient physical activity can lead to increased visceral fat storage. Here's a more detailed explanation. Foods high in saturated fats. These include fried foods and processed meats, full fat dairy products and baked goods. These fats are harder for the body to break down and are more likely to be stored as visceral fat. If you like the taste, the structural look and texture of these types of meals, your best bet is to eat the turkey or chicken equivalent of these. Stay away from those traditional parasite-filled garbage meals and sandwiches. It's best for your mind, body and health. Foods high in refined sugars. These are often found in fizzy pop, chocolate bars, cookies, cakes and other sweets. The refined sugars are quickly absorbed into the bloodstream, leading to rapid spikes and drops in blood sugar, which can trigger cravings and potentially contribute to fat storage. Excessive calories. When calorie intake exceeds energy expenditure, the excess calories are stored as fat, including visceral fat. This can happen when eating large portions or consuming a diet high in processed and fast foods. Sugary drinks. Beverages like pop, sweetened juices and energy drinks are often high in added sugars and empty calories, contributing to weight gain and visceral fat accumulation. Processed foods. These are often high in unhealthy fats, sugars and sodium, and can be a significant contributor to visceral fat. What does empty calories mean? Empty calories are calories from foods and drinks that offer little to no nutritional value beyond energy. They primarily come from added sugars and solid fats, and often lack the essential nutrients like vitamins, minerals and fibre. These foods are typically highly processed and can contribute to weight gain without providing the necessary nutrients for overall health. The characteristics of empty calories. Low nutrient density. They provide calories but few vitamins, minerals or other beneficial components. They are high in added sugars, often found in sugary drinks, sweets and processed baked goods. They are high in solid fats. These are found in fried foods, fatty meats and some processed snacks. Typically found in processed foods, many packaged snacks, fast food and sugary beverages are high in empty calories. Sugary drinks, fizzy pop, fruit juice and energy drinks. You got a sweet tooth, have you, yeah? Most people have. Cookies, cakes and pastries. Processed snacks like crisps, chips or French fries. Alcohol, beer, glasses of wine and spirits. Also, fatty meats contain a lot of empty calories. Why you should avoid empty calories. They can lead to weight gain. They're high in calories but low in nutrients, making it easy to overeat and store excess calories as fat. They don't provide any essential nutrients. The lack of vitamins, minerals and fibre, which are vital for bodily functions and overall health. They could also displace nutrient-rich foods. When consumed in large amounts, empty calories can fill you up without providing the necessary nutrients, potentially leading to deficiency in other nutrients you need in the body. Instead of empty calories, focus on consuming nutrient-dense foods like fruits, vegetables, lean proteins and whole grains, which provide a wide range of essential nutrients along with healthy amounts of calories. Foods that may help reduce visceral fat. These are high in fibre foods. Fibre-rich foods like fruits, vegetables and whole grains stabilise blood sugar levels, reduce hunger and promote the feeling of fullness, which can help in the weight management and potentially reduce visceral fat. Lean proteins. Protein helps with hunger cravings and can support muscle mass, which can help boost metabolism and fat burning. Healthy fats. Unsaturated fats found in foods like avocados, nuts and olive oil can improve body composition and may be more beneficial than saturated fats. Does visceral fat go away? Yes, visceral fat can be reduced and eliminated through a combination of lifestyle changes, primarily diet and exercise. While it might be more difficult to spot, visceral fat is more responsive to these changes than subcutaneous fat, the fat directly underneath the skin. A detailed explanation. What is visceral fat? Visceral fat is a type of body fat stored within the abdominal cavity, surrounding vital organs like the liver, intestines and the pancreas. It's often referred to as hidden fat because it's not as visible as subcutaneous fat. Excessive visceral fat is linked to increased risk of various health problems, including heart degeneration, type 2 diabetes and other ailments. How to reduce visceral fat? Focus on a healthy, balanced diet. Focus on whole foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins and whole grains, while limiting processed foods, sugary drinks and excessive saturated fats. Reduce overall calorie intake. Create a calorie deficit to encourage the body to burn stored fat. Increase fiber intake. The fiber helps with satiety, curbing hunger spikes, which can go towards weight management. Consider intermittent fasting. Some research suggests that intermittent fasting may be beneficial for reducing visceral fat. Exercise. The regular physical activity is crucial. Try to aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise most days of the week. Incorporate both cardiovascular exercise and strength training. Cardio helps burn calories, while strength training can help build muscle mass, which can increase your metabolism. Ultimately, just find physical activities that you enjoy. This will make it easier for you to stick with your exercise routine. Aim for 10,000 steps per day. Daily activities like walking and moving about in general will always contribute to overall calorie burn. Listen, even something as trivial as digging up and stripping the back garden can get you down to that visceral fat, blasting it away effectively. Sessions like that where you're twisting, squatting, pulling, pushing and exerting force through the entire body over a 2-3 hour amount of time is great. Leave it to grow back for a few weeks where you know you got to exert more energy, then go at it again. You see things like that, the maintenance of a big back garden, some would see as a chore, but how I like to do it is use these times as a workout. It's a less of an inconvenience and then you'll also fly through it. Even when it comes to biking to work, I'm looking at that as a chance to work out. During my work hours, if it's a functional type of work, I'm looking at those hours as a workout. Gives it more of a purpose other than just the income and time goes quicker. You see, when you look at things like this and incorporate exercise whenever you can, staying strong and fit becomes less of a chore because your mashing works regular instead of waiting for your select workout times. As long as you're resting adequately, stretching and the diet's correct, you'll be surprised when you look back and realise you've lost weight, packed on muscle and the cardio strength is strong. This is how I do it. I try to include some type of exercise into everything or most things when it comes to movement. Trust me, try it and you'll get fitter faster without even realising it. Because I know most of you out there look at movement or exercise or going to the gym as a chore. Then in true form, you'll fall off. You'll have staggered training weeks. You'll start and stop training plans. which ultimately becomes a lost time in that fitness journey. It takes way longer functioning and trying to stay fit that way. Lifestyle factors. Get enough sleep. The lack of sleep can negatively impact hormone levels and potentially contribute to weight gain. Manage stress levels. Stress can also affect hormone levels and cause you to start overeating. Consider probiotic-rich foods and supplements. Some research suggests that certain probiotics foods may help with weight management. A few more considerations. Consult with a healthcare or dietitian professional for personalised advice on diet and exercise plans. They can help you assess your individual needs and the risks connected to excessive visceral fat. The spot reduction myth. You can't target specific areas of fat for reduction. When you lose weight, visceral fat tends to be lost initially before anything else. Consistency is key. It takes time and effort to reduce visceral fat, but with consistent healthy patterns, you can see positive results. Genetic and hormonal factors play a role. While lifestyle changes are the most effective way to manage visceral fat, individual factors can influence where you tend to store fat. What given prescription is used for visceral fat? Liraglutide reduces visceral and intrahepatic fat without significant loss of muscle mass in obese people with type 2 diabetes. What does a stress belly look like? Stress belly, or cortisol belly, isn't a specific shape or size, but rather refers to the accumulation of fat around the abdomen, particularly visceral fat, caused by prolonged cortisol stress hormone levels. This type of belly fat is often accompanied by other signs and signals related to stress and hormonal imbalances. Can skinny people have visceral fat? Yes, even if you're thin, you can still have visceral fat around the abdominal region. Being skinny doesn't necessarily mean you're healthy. There's no surefire way to tell visceral from subcutaneous fat. An expensive CT scan would do the trick, but it's important for you to get a rough idea of what your visceral stores are. This drink reduces visceral fat. Studies show that green tea in higher amounts helps reduce visceral fat. They have shown that EGCG may help with fat loss by subtly boosting the rate at which your body burns fat. To get all the benefits of green tea, you'd likely have to drink 3 to 5 cups daily. Explanation. What is EGCG? This is the major catechin in green tea that accounts for 50 to 80%, which represents 200 to 300 milligram brewed cup of green tea. It has also shown other beneficial effects during studies of diabetes. EGCG possesses antioxidant activity against Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, the stroke, and obesity. Japanese green teas like matcha, gyokuro, and sencha are believed to be the highest condensed sources of EGCG. Just one serving of good quality matcha contains 30 to 40 milligrams of EGCG. Who should not drink green tea? Individuals with certain health conditions or sensitivities should exercise caution or avoid green tea entirely. These include people with anemia, anxiety disorders, bleeding disorders, heart conditions, diabetes, regular upset bowel movements, glaucoma, or high blood pressure. Additionally, those with stomach problems like liver issues or who are taking certain given prescriptions may need to limit or avoid green tea. Detailed considerations: anemia and iron deficiency. Green tea contains tannins, which can inhibit iron absorption. This can be problematic for individuals with anemia or those of chances of having iron deficiency, such as pregnant women, menstruating women, and vegetarians. Diabetes. Green tea may affect blood sugar control, so individuals with diabetes should check their blood sugar levels carefully if they consume green tea. Liver problems. Big amounts of green tea extract especially can potentially lead to liver damage in some people's situations. Stomach problems. The tannins in green tea can increase stomach acid, potentially causing stomach upset or constipation. It's best to drink green tea with meals or between meals rather than on an empty stomach. Prescription interactions. Green tea can interact with certain given prescriptions, including those for blood pressure, anxiety and depression. It's crucial to consult with a healthcare provider before consuming green tea if you are taking anything that's been given. Pregnancy and nurturing your babies with your lady bumps. When pregnant or nurturing, these women should limit their green tea intake due to potential effects on the fetus or the infant. Glaucoma. Green tea consumption can increase eye pressure, which may be a concern for individuals with glaucoma. What exercise burns visceral fat the fastest? Lifting weights surprisingly is number one, according to the experts. Weightlifting helps change body composition by increasing muscle mass, which is metabolically active and can burn more calories while you're at rest. Does walking burn belly fat? Yes, walking can go towards torching belly fat, especially when combined with a healthy diet and other forms of exercise. While walking doesn't specifically target belly fat, it helps reduce overall body fat, including the abdominal area, by burning calories and creating a calorie deficit. Here's why walking is beneficial for the calorie burning. Walking, like other forms of exercise, burns calories. And when you burn more calories than you consume, your body uses stored fat for energy, including fat in the abdominal area. Reduced visceral fat. Walking can help reduce visceral fat, which is the type of fat stored around internal organs and is linked to increased chances development of health problems. Helps us develop better metabolism. Regular physical activity like walking can boost your metabolism, making it easier to lose weight and burn fat. Maximize belly fat loss with walking. Increase intensity. Brisk walking or walking uphill can burn more calories than just having a slow, leisurely stroll. Incorporate interval training. Alternating between sets of faster and slower walking paces can further boost calorie burn and fat loss. Go for regular walks. Aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week. Try a variety of different sessions. This prevents workout stagnation. You can maximize belly fat loss with walking, combined with strength training also. Strength training exercises like squats, lunges or using resistance bands can help build muscle mass and further enhance fat loss. Maintain a healthy diet. A balanced diet with a calorie deficit is crucial for weight loss and reducing belly fat. Are eggs bad for visceral fat? No, they are not. Eggs are not bad for visceral fat. Other dietary tips could also contribute to getting rid of visceral fat. These include eating more high-protein foods such as nuts, eggs and lean meats. So why am I losing weight but my stomach is still big? So even while you are losing weight overall, hormonal imbalances could cause your body to hold onto belly fat. You could also hold onto visceral fat, which is less visible. There's several key hormones which work together in this process. Cortisol, your body's stress hormone, may trigger fat storage around the midsection as a survival mechanism. Where is the most fat stored in a woman's body? In a woman's body, the majority of the fat is typically stored in the gluteofemoral region, which includes the buttocks and the thighs. This is known as subcutaneous fat and is influenced by estrogen, which promotes fat accumulation in this area. Subcutaneous fat. This is the fat stored directly under the skin, and women tend to have a higher percentage of subcutaneous fat compared to men. Here's a more detailed explanation. The gluteofemoral. Estrogen encourages fat storage in the hips, buttocks and thighs. This is often referred to as gynoid or pear-shaped distribution. Visceral fat. So while women generally store less visceral fat around the abdomen and the organs than men, it can increase with age and especially after menopause. Hormonal influence. Estrogen plays a key role in where women store fat. As estrogen levels decline, fat distribution can shift, and women may experience more abdominal fat storage similar to men. Genetics. This also plays a role in fat distribution, with about 50% of the variation attributed to genetic factors. An explanation of the gluteofemoral region. It's a large area on the posterior and lateral aspects of the hip and thighs, containing muscles and other structures involved in hip and thigh movement. The gluteal region. Location. Posterior to the pelvis, extending from the iliac crest and down to the gluteal fold, and laterally to the greater trochanter of the femur. The muscles. These primarily consist of the gluteus maximus, the medius and minus, as well as the tensor fasciae latae. Functions. These muscles are involved in hip extension, abduction and rotation, and play a crucial role in walking, running and maintaining posture. Nerves. The superior and inferior gluteal nerves innervate the muscles in this region. Innervate, the explanation. Innervation refers to the supply of nerves or nerve impulses to a body part, tissue or organ. It's the process by which nerves are distributed to communicate with a specific area, enabling it to function properly. Innervation can involve various types of nerves, including sensory, motor and autonomic nerves, and plays a crucial role in controlling bodily functions like movement, sensation and organ regulation. Try not to mix this word up with innovation or innovator. They mean two totally different things. Innovator, the person that introduces new methods, ideas and products. Get Fit Good Vibes brought great innovation and innovating ideas to the way of getting fit and building a strong physique outside of the gym. This brand also innovated the way others uploaded workouts and session examples onto social media. You get my drift? Yeah, I am the difference. Muscles, divided into anterior, medial and posterior compartments, containing muscles involved in hip and knee flexion, extension and adduction. Vessels, includes the femoral artery and vein, which supply and drain blood from the thigh. Nerves, the femoral nerve, sciatic nerve and the obturator nerve innervate the muscles in this region. Interconnection. The gluteal and the femoral regions are closely connected with many muscles crossing between them and contributing to movements at both the hip and the knee joints. What is the number one routine to lose visceral fat? Being too sedentary is the number one routine you need to break quickly to reduce visceral fat. Research reveals that increasing physical activity may be one of the best ways to stop progression of ailments triggered by excess body fat. Does alcohol cause visceral fat? Relative to lifetime abstention, excessive alcohol intake was associated with higher ectopic adiposity, measured by computed tomography, with the strongest association in pericardial and hepatic fat depots, followed by intermuscle, visceral and subcutaneous fat deposits. Could metformin help get rid of visceral fat? A research study showed that the administration of metformin may cause visceral fat reduction through a possible mechanism of fat oxidation enhancement. Metformin, explanation. This is a medicine used to treat type 2 diabetes and gestational diabetes. It is also used in the quest to prevent type 2 diabetes. What exactly does metformin do? Metformin lowers the blood sugar levels by improving the way your body handles insulin, kind of reversing the things that cause hyperglycemia and high blood sugar levels. It's usually prescribed for diabetes when diet and exercise alone have not been enough to control your blood sugar levels. Why do GPs no longer recommend metformin, or have at least slowed down prescribing it? GPs and other medical professionals still often prescribe metformin to help treat type 2 diabetes. However, they've also found that metformin may not be suitable for everyone with type 2 diabetes. For example, a GP may prescribe an alternative treatment, such as SGLT2 inhibitors in people with kidney problems. Here's some healthy breakfast ideas for weight loss. You've got breakfast burritos, which offer a savoury and satisfying and sometimes potentially spicy start to your day. You've got veggie scrambles with eggs, avocado toast, oatmeal and fruit, protein pancakes, smoked salmon benedict, breakfast smoothies, hard-boiled eggs. Does apple cider vinegar go towards weight loss? Experts haven't found any meaningful weight loss or long-term hunger control with its use. In many of the studies of apple cider vinegar, the weight loss has been in small, incremental ways. Does drinking water get rid of visceral fat? With sufficient supplies of purified water and oxygen, the body can effectively remove toxins from the body while at the same time disposing of non-essential fat. This is one of the easiest and most natural processes for fat removal methods. And yet many people do not drink enough water and are dehydrated throughout the day. Could lemon water get rid of visceral fat? Although it's a popular belief, there's no research that supports lemon water use for burning belly fat, or that it is effective enough to just use that particular fruit as a method all on its own. Can you lose weight by eating one meal a day? A study of participants who tried eating one meal a day ended up with less total body fat. This particular group of people didn't experience significant weight loss though, so starving yourself in the quest for lost poundage around the waist is counterproductive. Intermittent fasting in general has proven to be an effective weight loss method. The typical weight lost is 7 to 11 pounds over a consistent 10 weeks amount of time. What exercise burns the most belly fat? Here's some great cardio and aerobic exercises for belly fat burning include walking, especially at a quick pace, running, biking and rowing, swimming, boxing bag, shadow boxing, group boot camps, skipping. Another great pastime and overall weight loss method is, of course, the two-person bedroom dance, or the menage if you're lucky. Okay, banter aside, yeah. If you've got a partner that don't really like to work out, or they aren't that sporty, you could put that extra effort in when you're giving her the mash down frequently. In such an effective way, it keeps her body weight down. It's a viable way to incinerate those pounds fast and slowly put something towards their weight loss journey. Indirect but effective calorie burn workouts. There's plenty of ways to exercise and get that calorie burn and energy release which keeps your body in great physical form. Get active, lift them up, build some back and arm strength, build some cardiovascular stamina, hold yourself up in a prone position and build core strength. Exercise is exercise and we all need it, but some people just don't get that fact and are either unbothered, too lazy or unable to stay active enough for a weight loss journey. Just make it an enjoyable hour or so. Put some variety and thought when training. This way it becomes enjoyable and moreish. What does an alcoholic belly look like? An alcoholic belly, also known as a beer belly or pot belly, typically appears as a large protruding abdomen caused by excess visceral fat accumulation around the midsection, often associated with heavy alcohol consumption. It's characterized by a rounded, sometimes hard belly, and is often linked to other ailments like heart degeneration and diabetes. Read or listen to that again. Other health ailments. A detailed explanation. Fat distribution. A beer belly is primarily caused by visceral fat, which accumulates around the abdominal organs, pushing the abdominal wall outwards. How does it look? It can range from a slightly rounded, protruding belly to a larger, more pronounced pot belly look to it. Health situations. Excessive visceral fat is associated with increased chances of heart degeneration, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and other certain tumours. The causes. While often linked to beer consumption, any alcohol intake, especially in excess, can contribute to accumulation of abdominal fat. Not just beer. It's important to realise that a beer belly isn't solely caused by beer, but rather the excess calories and potential for fat storage associated with excessive alcohol consumption. Ascites. This be a similar looking condition, which involves a buildup of fluid in the abdomen. This is often a complication of liver cirrhosis, but this is distinct from a beer belly caused by fat. Differentiation. A beer belly is typically hard due to visceral fat pushing against the abdominal wall, whereas ascites is characterized by more fluid-filled, distended abdomen. Now with this side of things, I do wonder sometimes, are the partners of these beer belly folk or massively overweight other halves doing this on purpose? Are they purposely overfeeding, over-intoxicating their spouse? Are they trying to induce health ailments and problems purposefully? Sometimes I do think, I don't know, maybe they are, maybe they're not. I mean, if you can clearly see they are bloated, overweight, stagnant, having trouble breathing while walking up and down the stairs, then why do you continue to be that enabler and keep pushing them down the road to poor, irreversible health status? It's just a thought. It's also a valid one as well in my eyes. Now before I start the summary, let me just say, no bad mind intentions were meant by anything spoken or written in this video. So try not to be too offended by anything said. They are not meant to get you down in any way. I'm just pushing out pure hidden facts and research. Right, so in summary for this video, let's go over the facts. Visceral obesity, also known as abdominal obesity or central obesity, refers to the excessive accumulation of fat around the abdominal organs such like the stomach, intestines and liver. It's a type of body fat that's stored deep within the abdominal cavity, distinct from subcutaneous fat which is located under the skin. Visceral fat is considered metabolically active and its excess is linked to various health ailments. These could include type 2 diabetes, heart degeneration and certain other tumours. Location: visceral fat is stored deep within the abdominal cavity, surrounding vital organs. Metabolic activity: unlike subcutaneous fat, visceral fat is metabolically active, meaning it releases hormones and other substances that can affect various bodily functions. Increased visceral fat is strongly associated with several serious health problems including type 2 diabetes, heart degeneration, certain types of tumours, for example colon, breast or prostate, also inflammatory diseases and dementia. Distinction from subcutaneous fat: while both types of fat contribute to overall obesity, visceral fat is considered more impactful due to its impact on organ function and metabolic health. Assessment: visceral fat can be assessed through various methods, including the waist circumference measurements, imaging techniques like CT scans, and specialised body composition analysis. Management: lifestyle changes, including diet and exercise, are crucial for reducing visceral fat and improving overall health. Visceral adipose tissue is a hormonally active component of total body fat, which possesses unique biochemical characteristics that influence several normal and pathological processes in the human body. Abnormally high deposition of visceral adipose tissue is known as visceral obesity. A growing belly is the most obvious sign of visceral fat, but that can also indicate subcutaneous fat as well. Some studies show if you have a pot belly or more apple than pear shape, you may have visceral fat. It's caused by eating more calories than you burn and not moving enough. A waist circumference of 80 centimeters or more for females and 94 centimeters or more for males could mean you have too much visceral fat. To prevent visceral fat, focus on maintaining a healthy balanced diet and keeping yourself physically active. The balanced diet consists of eating whole foods like fruits and vegetables, whole grains and lean proteins, while minimizing ultra-processed foods containing too much sugar. These are the only two effective strategies for losing weight. Weight loss can be achieved either by eating fewer calories or by burning more calories with physical activity, or preferably both. A healthy weight loss program consists of a reasonable, realistic weight loss goal. Reduced calorie and nutritionally balanced eating plan also helps. Have some flexibility along with dedication for your exercise and workout plans. Rest properly, eat well and have some fun with your sessions. Happy navigation. Good luck.